Am I plugged in? I guess I'm plugged in. Yeah. Yeah, I am. God, how about that?
Whenever you're ready, sir.
Clint, you haven't really done many movies with special effects and sets like this. What new challenges did it pose? And how different is making a film like this to something like True Crime? Is it much different?
Well, for about 3/4 of this film, or maybe a little over half of it, there was no difference at all, except just whatever the physical requirements of and emotional requirements of the script. But the opening sequence in the 50s, we're using X-1 and X-2 rocket planes that don't exist anymore. It's kind of difficult because you have to pre-plan that, and how can you do it? Get set pieces and a lot of trickery to do it. B-50s don't exist, though we did have part of a V-50 cab, and we had a lot of. You do a lot of piecing. It's like a puzzle kind of thing, and then the whole finale there on the space shuttle out in space is difficult. You have to kind of guess where you're going. Well, you have to. First place, you're crossing your fingers the whole time. Is this going to look any good? Because you're making a lot of things. You're depending on a lot of people who make visual effects, and can they make them to look decent? Because sometimes visual effects, but they can do miraculous things nowadays. But if it's anything less than superb, then it doesn't quite look real.
Cool. How much research did you do for the character? How much did you know about the whole space thing?
Just what I've read and see on television, the same as everyone else. I learned a lot, though, coming down here and filming in Houston and at Cape Canaveral and Kennedy Space Center in Florida. We learned a lot about what was done, and then we learned a lot about the early days by going up to Edwards and the desert, shooting up there. So it was kind of you kind of learn a lot, and you learn a lot. And everything you learn, you incorporate in the film. But that's what's fun about the film, or any kind of filmmaking, is you're always learning something new, something different, and that's to me what's kept me doing it for all these years. It's always a new adventure, and if you can say, I guess in life, that you know something today that you didn't know yesterday, that's good.
Excellent. Working at the Kennedy Space Center was a chance of a lifetime, really. It must have been amazing. What were the things that stood out for you? Is the flight simulation?
Well, we went out and we went up on the towers and did all the stuff. Everything short of taking off in the space shuttle. So we were allowed to kind of go through that and duplicate that. It was exciting doing it. I don't. It was this project. We have a lot of fun making fun of ourselves about the age and everything. But then once you get off on the adventure, nobody thinks too much about it. You just think about getting out of there and how do you get back.
The cast members are full of praise. By the way, all of the guys said you did a fantastic job. What was it like for you working with the old timers? I mean, you go back a long way with Don Sutherland.
Great. Well, I've known them all. You know people for over the years. You know them from being unemployed actors together, hanging around town. And I'd worked with Sutherland in Yugoslavia on Kelly's Heroes. And Jim, we were unemployed actors beating around town. In fact, he married a girl who was in an acting class that I was going to. And went back to when we were all young guys. So it's kind of interesting. But they're all pros. That's the main thing. They're all really professional, really solid citizens. And it's easy when you're working with those kind of people, much as it was in Unforgiven, working with Gene Hackman and Morgan Freeman and Richard Harris and people like that. They're all ready to use a golf expression, tee it up. They're just ready to go. They're not sitting there figuring out ways why I can resist, why I can't do this. They know what they have to do, and a switch goes off in their brain, and they come in and they're ready to fire the scene. And so that sometimes it's fun just to start shooting, see what happens. Maybe it's no good, maybe it's good. Sometimes if not what you want, then you have to stop and work with it a little while, and then other times it exceeds what you want. You go, wow, interesting. Instincts. It's not an intellectual art form. I'm fond of saying it's a emotional art form. But when you allow your emotions to work with it, and your instincts to work with it, you can get very good results out of it.
Where are you right now? What would you like to? Else is there for you to do as a director and actor?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah.
No, I have no idea. I never know till I see it. I didn't know I was going to do this film till I saw it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't looking for a space film per se. In fact, far from it. Wasn't looking for a special effects film. Thought I never was interested. But then you see it, you read it, and then the challenge takes over and runs for you.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Pleasure.
See you later.